So I graduated from the nutrition science program at NC State in 2013, and from that point, wasn't sure what exactly I wanted to do. I was toying with the idea of going back to get a master's so that I could become a dietitian. I didn't know if working somewhere in like a government agency was a place where I felt the most like fit. So as I was deciding, I got a job working as a health coach at Jenny Craig. And during that time, obviously, I was using nutrition every single day. I was working one-on-one with people to talk to them about what their challenges were with losing weight and getting healthy. A lot of the people that we did have come in were referred by their primary care physicians after they were, diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, or maybe just diagnosed with pre-diabetes, or told that either their weight, their blood sugars, or some sort of marker of their health was a little bit concerning. So there was a lot of processing with those people what it's like to get news that your health isn't very good and that you need to change something. So that kind of led me to become a lot more interested in how people's problems health-wise can be addressed by educating them on nutrition and providing a plan to move forward, or likewise educating them about exercise and providing a plan. But what I really felt the most interested in was understanding how people can know certain things and then still not make the decision to take care of their bodies. And that's sort of where I began to get interested in branching away from doing something very nutrition focused with my career. I knew that dietitians, there's great dietitians on campus that I communicate with now in my position who do a lot of work in mental health, because it's about more than just knowing what a healthy breakfast is, but figuring out, okay, how am I going to motivate this person to eat a healthy breakfast? They can know all the knowledge in the world that we can impart on them and still not make that decision. So I applied to return to NC State for my master's, and I'm now getting my master's in clinical mental health counseling. So my experience at Jenny Craig using nutrition was by far had the biggest impact on me deciding what I wanted to do now and for hopefully the rest of my life. With the program that I'm in now, I'd say this semester through the rest of my program is pretty much working. This internship that I'm at now is what I spend most of my time doing, and it's where I receive most of my training. That's kind of it's a given based on the licensure procedure. So I couldn't just open a private practice tomorrow and say that's going to be my internship, because I have to have licensed mental health professionals above me checking in and making sure I'm doing the right things. So through that process of, we call it supervision here, through that process I receive training, and it's mainly self-led. I come in with questions. My supervisor works full-time and has a full caseload, so it's not their job to meet with me for 1 hour a week and tell me something new about whatever whatever new counseling thing I need to know. It's on me to come with those types of questions. I'm at the counseling center at NC State, which means I see anyone who's a part of the student population here who comes in requesting services. A typical day is me coming in around 8 o'clock. I have a split of an expectation where 60% of my hours are direct, meaning I'm face-to-face with a student, whether that be individual, whether that be through leading a workshop or leading a group counseling session. Those count as direct. I also get the opportunity to shadow other people. I was able to do that early in their semester when my caseload wasn't that high. So more than half the time I'm with people conducting 1 hour sessions, or in a group conducting 1.5 or 2 hour sessions. The rest of the time I'm frantically trying to keep up with my case notes, going to individual supervision, I mentioned that earlier, going to group supervision, which I get with other people in my cohort, and that's really nice because you get to learn and ask questions with people who are at the same level developmentally. And I think that that is a model that could be adopted, like regardless of what field you're in, like being able to learn from peers rather than having this like dynamic of like having your boss teach you something, and like the power dynamic that exists that can be kind of intimidating about that. So in that 40% where I'm not seeing people, most of it is me trying to learn or like trying to plan for upcoming sessions or documenting what I need to document from previous sessions. I'm thinking back to like Dr. Ash's classes and the critical thinking that was required in those classes and how it's so pertinent here. In a sense that like, so my job now is not necessarily something where you can like read a textbook about advanced nutrition and metabolism and like apply it here, but when you're talking with someone and trying to get an understanding of like, who is this person, like what have they experienced, how has their culture impacted who they are, trying to get an appreciation for that and like truly understand what that person's going through requires the ability to like know who you are and also like take a step away from who you are and enter someone else's world. So it's a lot more like ambiguous, right? Like I'm not necessarily calculating calories in the form of like protein, carbohydrates, and fats like I was at my previous job, but just the simple fact of like having to go to college and take all these classes instills this ability to like think on a deeper level. As far as nutrition specifically, there are people who come in here presenting with eating concerns. So whether someone has a diagnosable eating disorder or not, there might be a lot of psychoeducation and processing that can be done around food, and I've definitely leveraged my knowledge from nutrition to help people. And it's less so how I would in my previous job where it was a lot of just like telling them what was going on, but you know, being able to sit with someone and say and hear them say like, I don't know how to get myself to stop eating when I feel full. I can easily pull up a fact that we learned in Nutrition 301 about how it takes time for your body to communicate the signal of being full to your brain, and how we can create some type of practice or exercise where that person waits that amount of time after they're done eating. Well, I learned that this is what I wanted to do, and when I graduated I had still really no idea what I wanted to do, so that was cool. And for those who don't know what they want to do, like that's totally okay. I don't think there's a set point where you need to have already figured that out. And who knows, if I do this for 10 years and decide I want to do something slightly different, like that's okay too, but I just feel like I have more direction in how I feel fulfilled in a job, and I'm in a place where I am getting that sense of fulfillment, which is nice. Going back to school was important for me, and I wasn't aware of this at first, but having talked to the faculty that are in my program, the cohort that I'm a part of now is 8 people, so we're like a nice tight-knit group, and I wasn't aware, but there were over 100 applications to get into the program that we're in, and we were the 8 that were chosen. Lets me know like something about me stuck out to them and made them feel like, okay, I have some potential to do some good. I think that this program's forced me to do a lot of like self-reflection and like dealing with my own personal stuff, and I think we all have our own personal stuff. So maybe I wish I would have like gotten to that sooner. Y'all are all different, so one, don't compare yourself to other people and feel like you're ahead or behind the pack. If you don't know what you want to do, you're probably right where you should be. I've learned from experience, and I don't know if that's necessarily my style or everyone's style, but I think the more you get out there and try something, the more you can tell yourself like, okay, I liked this about this one job, but I really didn't like this about it. And then in a new role, okay, I noticed that I still liked what I liked about the first one, so maybe I'm onto something here. So it's okay to learn from experience, and it's okay to have no idea what you want to do because you may not have much experience right now. And again, that's probably developmentally right where you should be.